to a sacred place where we speak our truth, share our knowledge, and shatter limiting beliefs. We are your hosts, Vanessa and Isabel.
Welcome back. Welcome back. And I just want to mention thank you. Thank you for the listeners that are listening in. This has taken a lot of years in the making for us to be vulnerable, to have this setting, to be completely transparent with you, and for us to even share what happened behind the scenes. Behind the scenes in our life. Because we know a lot of you through the social media world.
And for all the new listeners, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Welcome in.
Yes.
And we really appreciate you having in.
Because and it's a blessing to have the time to do it, especially this year, the past year, we'll dive more into this, of the reflection period, the complete different lifestyle that we were living when we were kind of, I don't know if you want to call it hustling and building and growing in Ivy Leads. It's completely different now, we have the time to, and we've made the decision to give us the time to also commit to doing what we love to do, as far as through creativity, whether we want to show up, whether we want to just not be on social media, and kind of allowing that space to do stuff like this, which I love that we're able to now share and express in different ways than we used to before.
Absolutely. And, the last episode we shared with you guys what we actually did when it came to transitioning from Asia. Then we came into the States. We chose Austin, Texas as our base. We even built a headquarters, beautiful downtown office. I love that office. If we ever do get an office, I would definitely reconsider that location.
I don't know if we are.
Nah. But, never say never.
Yeah.
Keeping options open. And from there, we started a little side hustle of Airbnbs.
Yeah.
And we reflected upon selective hearing, the RAS, how important it is to listen to your surroundings, listen to that voice that's guiding you, listen to your own internal,
your body, within.
Your emotions, what's actually making you excited, what's making you nervous, what's stopping you.
Yeah.
And
you have I definitely believe we all have the answers that we're looking for within, and to trust within. It'll always lead you in a beautiful way. And if you're not there yet to trust within, trust people that you respect and can see their life is they are the result that you're looking to, move towards and achieve in your life.
And just that approach has helped us so much in our life, right? Because once we found out that Airbnb and the way that we were doing it was definitely not a side hustle that we can scale, nor did we want to. Okay. And we wanted to ensure that our main business, Ivy Leads, was still continuing to grow the way it was growing. We decided to just take a complete shift. And it was around November time. Mm-hmm. And you were like, you know what? Let's go see snow. I remember. And then you were like, let's go see snow. We went to Utah.
Mm-hmm. Park City, Utah.
Do
a little snowboarding.
Yeah,
snowboarding. For Christmas.
Snowboarding for Christmas. Ladies and gentlemen, I do not know nor do I want to understand this whole snowboarding thing, okay? I think I'm more of a skier, but I had to go through that snowboarding experience with you, sweetheart, because you're amazing, okay? You make it look super easy. You just jump on that thing and you glide.
Well, I apologize for like, it was Isabel's first time, so I'm like, come on, you can do it. Let's go up the slopes.
Yeah. Yeah, I was practicing with the babies, you know, the little ones, and I'm like trying to get on the board, and finally, you know, I finally got on the board, and I was like, yeah! And that was Vanessa's sign to be like, let's go up the mountain. And I thought it was just a little joyride, a little scenic route, like, yeah, let's go up this thing. And once you get up there, it's like, all right, let's jump off and glide on down. And took about 3 hours. I like messed up my shoulder. It was one of the most interesting experiences of my life. And I want to say, I think because of that experience, I realized that I want to experience more. Okay? Because not with snowboarding, no, that's not what I meant. What I meant was we have to try new things. You know, just like when we climbed that volcano in Bali.
Yeah.
Okay, wow, what an experience. And yes, you got to wear certain shoes. Okay? We came out of there like, oh my God, never again with those shoes. So we have to understand all these things. And now we have our snowboarding gear, we have our winter gear all in place, and we're good to go. Anyways, transitioning into what really matters here, okay? That trip, on the way back, again, it hit me like a lightning strike. On the plane. I remember, I was just like, I guess I was in pain. I was physically in pain. I was just thinking so much about everything, and I just turned to Vanessa, and I was like, we're done. And then I'm like, we have to go. We have to go somewhere. We have to just go and try something else. We're not office people. We're not doing this right. We're just wasting money on this office. I was just blaming it on the office, even though I love the office. And I was like, this office is not going to do anything. Like, we're just not going anywhere, you know? And this is where you know that you have found the right person in your life, because this is not the first time this has happened, but you were like, okay, let's take a moment, let's write things down, let's take a moment, share with me what you're thinking, and we put it onto paper. You know, that process of like, and I think we're really good at that. Once we have something and we're really like serious about something, we put it outside of our minds and we transfer it onto paper.
Yeah.
And what a decision it was.
Yeah. No, and then from there, we did make the decision that, because we had to adjust things, because at that point we were growing really fast, right? We had a big team, you know, like big team, but we were also like more of like a done-for-you service agency that we were growing within Ivy Leads, where now we were the team for coaches all over the world that were our clients to do the organic lead generation strategy for them. So let's say we had 1 or 2 team members on their Instagram accounts, their Facebook, their LinkedIn accounts, and we were the ones that were training our team, but we were also responsible to book them appointments, you know, book them appointments so that they can jump on the call and convert the clients. Okay. As you get more clients, though, with the done-for-you service, like you have to train more team members, and it was growing. And then we were kind of at that point, we were stuck also being more of like the customer service. We were training. We care a lot, and we want to make sure the clients get results. So like, we were on top of everything, where when I look back, obviously I feel like growing now, it's like we should have hired to replace us in that point and had other people to be in our position. But at that point we were doing everything. Yeah. You know, and that's where it became overwhelming, you know, because we didn't really have boundaries. And at all times, we were not only the sales people, even though we had a team, they were doing the services. Now we're responsible. It's like 30 businesses.
Yeah.
If you have 30 clients with the done for you service.
Yeah.
And so that all was getting like very overwhelming. And we kind of also looked up and were like, okay, this is not the direction we want to go, because when more clients come in and expansion comes in, then you're going to have a team of 100, 200. Do we want that?
Yeah.
Even though, yeah, the money was coming in, we were helping clients at that time. We looked and it wasn't worth it to continue for us, because we knew we had a bigger purpose, you know, in that sense.
We fell into lead generation.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like we woke up one day and we're like, you know what? Leads. That's it. Leads. That's what we want to commit to.
That's our passion. Yeah.
That is it.
Yeah.
Leads. No. It was never leads. It was never social media. It was never organic lead generation. It was never that. What it was, though, going back to what kept us there, was the results of coaches and the transformation that these coaches received.
Yeah, we knew we were great at and we could help
Fantastic.
as well. Not only for our business, but for the coaches and clients that we were
helping someone go from zero to most likely negative, okay? Negative to finally hitting, you know, their first $25,000 sale. That's a huge accomplishment.
Yeah.
And then making their first six figures, and then watching them hire their first assistant, and then from hiring their first assistant, their first million. Come on. Like, you see that, and you're almost a part of that.
Yeah.
It's like, it's a beautiful thing, and it's like almost like a drug. You want that hit after hit after hit, and that's what, but there are so many other hits that were coming on the other end, that if you just focus on the wins, and you don't realize that you're also getting beat down on the other end.
Yeah, the complaints if something doesn't happen or if doesn't. Because I remember that was a boundary that I definitely have set now for sure. But before I didn't have, like when it came to emails that would come in, and like no matter what time, like in the morning, the phone came in and let's say a client emailed, you know, like going to it right away and having to handle it to get it out the way, you know, starting the day off with that. And emails coming in is like, it can ruin your rest of your day, you know, and your mood and your attitude. So like, that's something I'm super glad to have put a boundary on, you know, and whatever business that comes in our way or opportunities continue to come in, that's something I'm not willing to do or be that person. And so I feel like we learned so much from that, and that experience was incredible, the whole, you know, of what we went through. And I think it's so important, you know, to go through those things as well, you know, or to listen and be like, do I want to do that? Do I want to, you know, you can kind of like listen from somebody maybe that has been through that and say, do I want to do that? Or I'm going to do this differently because I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, I'm very grateful, so grateful for all of those experiences, because I feel like as business owners and people, they've made us so much more wiser, more aware, and to do things how we want to do them, you know, as we continue.
Yeah, and to me, that was one of the biggest growth years of our life. To be honest, it was like so crazy. The physical growth, the emotional, mental, spiritual breaking that had to go through in order for you to become the best version of yourself, the better version of yourself.
Yeah.
You know, and in those moments, you may feel loneliness. I felt like the most lonely in those times, even though I'm always with you, and that's like, if I didn't have you, I don't know where the heck I would be.
Yeah. But I think our heads were so down, like we didn't, like, and even if we were to visit our family or something, it was like we didn't have time. There. Yeah, our minds, our presence wasn't there.
Yeah,
like
because
it has been.
I couldn't relate.
Yeah.
I couldn't relate to my cousins, you know, having fun and having a joke, because I'm like, are you growing that business? Are you growing that Instagram account? Make sure to never use a bot. Make sure to always, you know, DM 15 people a day in order for you to build those relationships. Or do you have a landing page? Are you converting? Have you heard of ClickFunnels? Have you heard of, like I'm thinking about all these things, and I was just like, I was annoying to myself. And it sounds annoying, but at the same time, it's like, looking back on it, I had to be that in order for me to be who I am today.
Yeah.
And respect that person that I was 2 or 3 years ago. Because if I wasn't that person 2 or 3 years ago, the successes, the results, the transformation wouldn't have happened. And looking back on it now, that limiting belief, I wouldn't be able to understand it.
Yeah.
Where now boundaries is a big deal for us. It's something that you can't really get access to us unless you pass through a couple of walls or a couple of things. So it's like, I reflect on that, and if you are just starting out in your business, or maybe you're considering a business, I think you have to go through some ups and downs. It's not something that you can avoid. It's like the law of nature, or like
it's
working
life.
out.
In life
You have
too.
to break your muscle in order for it to grow.
Yeah.
Right? So like those muscles that were broken over time and rebuilt, wow. I'm so grateful for that. Really, really grateful for that.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is after we came back from the Utah trip, we decided to, close out the headquarters. And this was around the beginning of 2020. The beginning of 2020, right?
And which was perfect timing, because then we got out of all the contracts with the Airbnb prior to the pandemic.
Yeah.
We went to South America. Where did we go to Peru, and like that? When was that?
So we went from Utah, we went back to Austin to handle all of the apartments and just, the office and clean everything out.
Yeah.
Right? We sold everything. Remember that? In like a week's time. Thank you,
all
Facebook
the furniture.
Marketplace. It was amazing because we got that storage unit, and you staged it with all of our office furniture and stuff like that. And somebody came in and was like, "That's mine."
Yeah.
Woo, I felt that.
Yeah.
That was so good.
Yeah.
Anyways, so we did that all in a month's time, maybe less than that. Maybe 2 weeks.
Yeah.
In a matter of 2 weeks, we were able to get out of all the contracts, sell everything, and then we went to Florida first, okay? And then from Florida, we ended up going to Peru. In Peru, we stayed there for, I think it was 2 weeks? No, a month or two. That's what it was. We went to Peru for a month. We were there. And it was a beautiful time. The food in Peru was amazing.
Yeah, I think we went to Mexico, Peru, a couple of places
After
in South.
Peru, we went to Mexico. Because Playa del Carmen, Mexico, is also a very not hidden anymore, obviously, but it's a very magical spot for us. We always go to Playa del Carmen. We absolutely love it, and we love that place.
Yeah.
But after Peru, we went to Mexico, and then in March, I remember, because we stayed in Mexico for a month or so, a month and a half, because we loved it there. It was like the day before the borders closed in Mexico. That's when we left Mexico to go back to Florida because of COVID in March.
Got it. The pandemic.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And we were like, what's the COVID? What are you talking about? Because everybody in Mexico is like, just drink some tequila, way. Like, you'll be okay. So they weren't like making a big deal out of it. But if if you turn on the TV, they're like, the borders are closing here, the borders are closing there. We're like, should we go? Like, I think so. And what was crazy is the day after they closed the borders.
Yeah.
So we would have been in Mexico. We would have stayed in Mexico for 2 years.
And that's when we went back to Florida, and we got the place in Florida, Havana.
Yeah, and it took us like a week and a half to find a place to stay in Florida. Luckily, it was like the last, because of the whole COVID thing, they were like shutting places down. They were like not leasing anymore for some reason. And we finally found this spot, in Fort Lauderdale, and we were able to commit there.
Yeah.
Which
and
was awesome.
While all that was going on, we also made the decision that this was a big decision in our business, that we are no longer doing done-for-you services, and we're no longer offering done-for-you services. So think about it. All our revenue every month, right?
Yeah.
Lots of revenues coming in every single month from this service, because everybody wants this service. Lead generation for their business, yes.
Organically, with no bots and
no
real
Facebook
people.
ads, no none of that. So we decided, look, it's not worth it for us. We need to change direction towards what we want to do more of. So we stopped. We stopped bringing in clients. We had to say no. People wanted to pay us $20K. Here, we said no. And that's when we shifted more into group coaching and a different type of business model. And we stopped that. And that's what got into more systems, right? You're big on systems saves lives. So in the next episode, let's discuss and dive into system saves lives, not only in business, but I feel like in our life as well. Understanding systems, building the systems around you, and allowing the systems to work for you, you know? System stands for save yourself time, energy, and money.
We are your hosts, Vanessa and Isabel.